Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone had an awesome weekend. Went out to the property, put a tarp on my shed to protect it from the elements, and came home and did absolutely nothing for the rest of the weekend. That's how my weekend was. Hopefully everyone had a little bit more productive weekend than I did. With that being said, we're going to be talking about kids. We're talking about health. We're talking about fat kids and health. Now, I saw this going on Twitter. Didn't really give much thought to it until I heard it on the radio on the way home. And this is what they want to do: new guidance to use drug surgery early for obesity in kids. That's right, they want to drug your kids up even more. Children struggling with obesity should be evaluated and treated early and aggressively, including with medicines for kids as young as 12 and surgery for those as young as 13, according to new guidelines released Monday. The long-standing practice of watchful waiting or delaying treatment to see whether children or teens outgrow or overcome obesity of their own only worsens the problem that affects more than 14.4 million young people in the U.S. I'm probably part of that group, but that's all right. In the U.S., left untreated, obesity can lead to long or lifelong health problems, including high blood pressure, diabetes, and depression. Mainly because it's a loop. In my understanding, depression is I'm fat, so I'm depressed. I'm depressed, therefore I eat. I eat, therefore I'm fat. I'm depressed. I can see as a non-winning circle of depression. Waiting doesn't work, said Dr. Ahom Anili, co-author of the first guideline on children obesity in 15 years from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Pretty sure you also recommend spaying and neutering your kids, calling them trans. I don't know if it's this doctor, but I'm pretty sure this group right here. We see that as a continuation of weight gain and likelihood that they'll have obesity in adulthood. You know how you fight obesity? In 2 to 3 different steps. One is you stop eating, you go for walks, and you go lift weights or something. You get active, and then you eat healthy. That's really all you need to do. Now, I do understand that while those steps are easy in practice, it takes commitment. It takes commitment to actually go out and exercise. It takes commitment to go only focus on one half of the grocery store, which is the produce and the meat, and leave the pre-made food out of it, including bread. Also, the other thing while we're on it, can we get corn sugars removed from our food? That's another issue that we're probably having, that we're seeing right now, is there's corn sugar in everything that's pre-made. That includes bread, that includes the ice cream you eat, that includes the lasagna that you buy in the frozen section, that includes the pizza that you buy in the frozen section. It just has corn sugar or high fructose sugars or anything like that. If it's not sugar from a fruit that you're eating, like an apple, then it shouldn't be in the bread. Now, a little bit of sugar goes a long ways, but that's something that needs to be addressed as well. This also starts with habits from the parents. The parents need to get involved. Parents need to have maybe a nightly walk or a run or go to the gym to promote a healthy lifestyle. But taking drugs and surgery is sending the wrong message, in my opinion. Waiting doesn't work. Oh, yeah, I always saw that. We see a continuation, weight gain, and likelihood that they'll have obesity in adulthood. For the first time, the group guidance set ages which kids and teens should be offered medical treatment, such as drugs and surgery, in addition of intensive diet, exercise, and other behavior and lifestyle interventions, said Anili, the director of Center of Healthy Weight and Nutrition at the nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbia, Ohio. In general, doctors should offer adolescents of 12 and older who have obesity access to appropriate drugs, and teens 13 and older with severe obesity referrals for weight loss surgery through situations, though situations may vary. That's their opt out. Guidelines aim to reset the inaccurate view of obesity as personal problems, may be a failure of personal diligence, says Dr. Sandra Hensink, medical director at the AAP Institute for Healthy Child Weight and co-authored guidelines. This is not different than you have an asthma and now have an inhaler for you. Young people who have body mass index that meets or exceeds 95th percentile for kids of the same age and gender are considered obese. Kids who reach or exceed this level by 120% are considered severe obesity. BMI is measured body size based on calculation of height and weight. Obesity affects nearly 20% of kids and teens in the U.S. and about 42% of the adults, according to the Center for Disease Control Prevention. The group guidelines takes into consideration that obesity is a biological problem, kind of, and that the condition is complex. Chronic disease, says Erin Kelly, co-director of the Center of Pediatric Obesity Medicine at University of Minnesota. The fact that that is a group is alarming. Obesity is not a lifestyle problem. Yes, it is. It's not a lifestyle disease. Yes, it is, he said. Predominantly emergence from biological factors. I think they're talking about a pancreas where it gives off too many T cells, I want to say. No, it's the thyroid, which then becomes not necessarily a lifestyle disease. But in most cases, obesity is a lifestyle problem. That means if you go home and eat a pint of ice cream and then cheeseburgers, chips, fries, all that good stuff, and that's your only source of nutrition, that is a lifestyle. And if you just sit on home on the couch watching YouTube or Netflix, not being very active, is also a lifestyle, which makes it a lifestyle disease. So I disagree with you. I do understand that there's some other issues coming into play here, but I would say 90% of the obesity, including myself, is a lifestyle problem of eating unhealthy and not exercising. The guidelines come as new drug treatments for obesity kids have emerged. Oh, new drug treatments. So this is going to be anything to do with promoting drug use for a new drug treatment, right? There's no monetary value promoting this. Let's see here. New guidelines come as new drug treatments for obesity in kids have emerged, including the approval last month of Wegovy, a weekly injection used for children ages 12 and older. Different doses of the drugs called semaglutide are also used under different names to treat diabetes. A recent study published in New England Journal of Medicine found that Wegovy, made by Novo Nordisk, helped teens reduce their BMI by 16% on average, better than the results in adults. Yeah, I'm not going to continue on here, but what I found funny is this article right here from MedPage Today, Primary Care, Diet, Nutrition. Healthy eating linked to lower risk of total mortality. Adhering to healthy eating patterns was associated with lower risk of total cause-specific mortality. Prospect cohort study with up to 36 years of following up showed among 75,000 women from Nurses Health Study and 44,000 men from Health Professionals Follow-Up Study, those who scored the highest quintile for the healthy eating patterns recommend the dietary guidelines for Americans had 14% to 20% lower risk of total mortality versus than the lower report. Frank Hu at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health in Boston, and colleagues in JAMA International Medicine. They pulled a multivariate adjusted hazard ratio total mortality with 4 eating healthy patterns. Don't really know what that means. Lowering the risk consists across all racial and ethnic groups. So that removes genetics. There's no one largest or longest running study that examines association dietary scores for 4 healthy eating patterns recommended by the DGA. The risk totaling cause specific mortality in large cohort studies. Every 5 years, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services release an updated version of dietary guidelines for Americans. It explained it's important to evaluate and adhere to the DGA recommended eating pattern and health outcomes, especially for mortality, so that the timely update, the DGA can be made. Let's see here. Beyond that, so it's really, really interesting that the story about kids getting surgery and taking drugs, and then the next one, literally, so this one is new guidelines, and then eating healthily. So you pretty much gotta eat healthy. You pretty much gotta exercise. You pretty much gotta put in the work to keep the pounds off. And unfortunately, a lot of us, like myself, are lazy, or we work 8 hours and we drive 2 to 3 hours going to and back from work, and we just don't want to do anything when we get home. That's something that we're going to have to change as a society. That's something that we have to promote healthy alternatives to just snacking on junk food. Like I said, I'm guilty of this as myself. I'm probably several pounds overweight, probably considered obese or severely obese. But that's just how I am. That's my lifestyle. That's my lifestyle choices. With that being said, I find it disturbing that we're recommending drugs and surgery for kids for any type of reasons when diets, well, not say a diet, you really shouldn't be dieting, but you should have a healthy diet that you keep to it, not trying to get skinny fast, but a healthy day-to-day diet that has your fruits and vegetables, your meats and whatever you want to eat that's not processed food, as in like the Twinkies, the Twix, the candy bars, the ice cream. Not saying you can't have those, just minimize those, and also be extremely active. Goes a long ways. With that being said, that is my video for today. Leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are, but most importantly, have yourself a wonderful day, morning, or evening.